loved me and brought me food to eat. You taught me how to stand for what I believe and what is right. Help me know down deep inside, only your heart as deep as yours. I'm so glad to have a father like you. I wouldn't have learned to love like you. Now that you're gone, those memories will linger on. Mahal ku fabay taon, uri solo suli na u, anasikada na afetaya na ugi, oya biya bisuli na umakay ku tangoy, si do flanga ba ilia, yan ako fabay taoy tara. Among the rest, thank you, Lord, for shaping my life. You pick me up when I am down. Lord, I want to say that I love you. Then I go far by taoy tarahe na.
What makes your dad happy?
Being with me and my brother. Happy Father's Day. We love you.
Hi,
What do you enjoy doing with your dad?
I enjoy helping him around the house so me and my sister can play in the yard. And happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you.
What is your daddy's favorite food?
My daddy's favorite food is barbecue. And I love you, Daddy. Happy Father's Day.
I am glad you have gathered here with me today so that I may tell you all an important story. It is the story of the prodigal son. And though at first it may seem like a simple tale, there is a lot we can learn from this story. I want you to listen closely so that we all might learn an important lesson about how to live a good life from the story of the prodigal son.
What does the word prodigal mean?
Great question, Peter. Prodigal is a word for someone who spends a lot of money they don't have on silly things and is too fond of wasting money.
Aha!
Well, the story goes like this. Once upon a time, there lived a family, a father and his 2 sons. They lived together in a nice house and were helped by the couple of servants they had. They were not extremely wealthy, but their father was a wise man who made sure to save up as much as he could to make sure that the family would be supported once he was gone. The 2 sons both helped their father look after the house, and farm the land that they owned. They owned goats, sheep, and cows, and the boys helped their father make sure that the animals were always well fed and well looked after. The father loved his sons deeply, and although the sons loved him back, they were not perfect. The younger son was known for being prodigal, or very wasteful with money. Any time he got some money, he would usually spend it straight away. He wasn't good saving up his money the same way that his father was. Over time, the younger son began to feel frustrated with his work on the farm. He longed to be rich and live the extravagant life of his dreams. He knew that his father had been saving up money to leave behind for him and his brother. And he decided to go and ask for his portion of the money early.
Father?
What is it, my boy?
I have something I want to ask you.
Ask away.
Well, I know that you have been saving up money for my brother and I for quite some time.
That is true. I want you boys to have a comfortable life once I'm no longer around. That money will keep you both safe.
Well, that's the thing, Father. I was wondering if I could maybe get my inheritance early and take my portion of the money now.
The father was surprised by this request, as he had planned for his sons to get their inheritance after he had died. He wasn't expecting to hand over their inheritance while he was still alive. He was a bit worried, for his younger son was known for being irresponsible with money and spending too much too often. But the father respected his son's wishes and went to divide up what he had saved.
Okay, son. If that is what you wish, I'll give you half of your inheritance now. I only hope you make good use of it.
Oh, thank you, Father. I will finally have the money to live the life I dream of.
But it was only after a few short days that the younger son announced he would not be staying. He was going to take the money his father had given him and travel to a faraway land.
Goodbye, everyone. I'm off to seek adventure in faraway places full of excitement and riches.
The rest of the family was sad to see him go, but did not try to stop him. And so, the younger son did as he said he would. He rode off to a distant land and sought out all the pleasures this new life had to offer. He spent money on fancy food, expensive drinks, big parties, and many other things that would not please God. He did not pay attention to how much anything cost or how much money he had left. It was not long before the prodigal son realized that pretty soon all the money his father had given him was about to be gone. When the prodigal son spent all his money, he became desperate. Quickly, the memory of the fine foods he had eaten were replaced by hunger, and there were no more parties for him to distract himself. The prodigal son went to look for work wherever he could find it. Eventually, he came across a pig farmer who would allow him to work for him.
Times are tough, boy, but I can try to spare some food for you if you're able to watch over and feed the pigs.
It wasn't much, but the prodigal son was happy to have a way to feed himself.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
And so, for a time, the prodigal son worked as a pig farmer in exchange for tiny pieces of food. But during this time, a great famine struck the land, and food became even more difficult to find. The farmer could not give the prodigal son as much food as he needed to stop being hungry all the time. One day, the prodigal son caught himself watching with jealousy as the pigs ate their scraps. When he realized that he was feeling jealous of the pigs for the scraps they were given, he knew he could not remain like this. He thought of the servants back at his father's house and how they were always treated with respect and had enough food to eat. He instantly regretted abandoning his father's household.
I have wronged my father by taking my inheritance and leaving to live a life of sin instead of taking care of my family home. I will go back and offer my services to my father as a servant and hope that he finds it in his heart to let me back into his home.
And so, the prodigal son made his way back to his father's household. As he neared the home, the prodigal son grew even more afraid that his father would reject him and not allow him to work as a servant. But before the son even reached his home, his father spotted him and ran happily to greet him.
Father, forgive me. I should not have left and been so prodigal with my inheritance.
But the father did not care. He was just happy to see his beloved son again.
If you will forgive me, I wish to work as a servant for you and make it up to you.
No, my son, you need not be sorry, and you needn't work as a servant either. I'm just happy to have my son back.
The father was so happy that he ordered the servants to prepare one of their finest cows for a big feast dinner to celebrate. The older brother was working in the fields when he heard that his brother was back after wasting all of his inheritance. When he heard that the father was going to reward the prodigal son with a feast, he became angry and went to confront his father.
Father, what is the meaning of this? Why are we throwing a feast for my brother when he acted foolishly and wasted his inheritance?
The father calmed his eldest son and explained,
Because, my dear son, for a time we had lost him completely. It was as if he was dead, and now we will feast to celebrate that he is alive again.
And that was the tale of the lost prodigal son who returned home.
And what can we learn from this story?
This story teaches us to be grateful for that which we have lost, especially when it is returned to us. The father knew that even though his son was not perfect, it was more important for him to treat his son with love than be angry at his prodigal spending. Even when someone has acted badly, when they decide to change their lives and become a better person, like the son did, it's important to support that change. This is how God views us. Even when we do bad things, As long as we decide to become better, God will show us love and acceptance, just like the Father did to His Son.
What makes you proud of your dad?
My father is very hardworking. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you.
How are you and your dad the same?
Both me and my dad love snacks, and we love to go out and buy fast food and eat. Love you, Dad. Thank you for spoiling me. Happy Father's Day.
Hi boys and girls, good afternoon. We are going to make a shirt and tie craft for Father's Day. And what you will need for this craft is a sheet of Bristol board, or a piece of a Bristol board, or a sheet of construction paper that you can use, and you cut your Bristol board probably the size of the construction paper that you can use. Bristol board is a little more firm. The construction paper, some are firm, some are soft. So you can use either one. Once you can work with it, it will be fine. What I have done, I have cut a piece of Bristol board the size of the construction paper, and I have folded it into two. What we are going to do is to measure at the top here, the top 3.5 centimeters down. So I am measuring from here to here, 3.5 centimeters, making a mark. I get it even to draw a line again. 3.5, right. I'm going to draw a line right through it there. Good. It's 3.5 centimeters. What I'm going to do now is cut on both sides 5 centimeters. If you measure your width of your card, it is 15 centimeters across. So across here is 15 centimeters. What I'm going to do is mark off 5 centimeters on one end and 5 centimeters on the other end. Alright, so I'm going to cut on either sides to the 5 centimeters mark where I have dotted, and to other side as well to the mark. Right, now we have the cuts on it. I'm going to cut out the back piece. So I'm opening my card and cutting out the back piece. So you cut in the middle here, and you cut out the back. So your back is shorter than the front. So this is the front of your card. These two pieces at the end there, you're going to turn the corners down to meet in the middle and have it even. And then you crease on the sides. So your card looks like this. what I have done, I have cut out a tie pattern. Well, I printed a tie pattern and I cut it to the size that I need, like that will be fitting for my paper, right? So I have cut out the pattern on a patterned piece of paper that I like. If any kind of pattern that you have, or you can cut even a copybook page. I have cut out a tie using a copybook page. You know, so you can cut anything in a tie that would look good, and you can match it up with your color of your paper. So I have cut out this piece of paper that I have. So I'm going to stick my tie in the middle here, where the colors join. So it's gonna stick there in the middle. So I'm gonna put my glue. Get it at the middle of my color. There. Right? Then you stick down the color. Like this. What I have done, I have also cut out, you can cut out a pocket. I did one earlier, and I cut out a little pocket and put on it. So what I have done is cut out a little pocket kind of something here. And I'm gonna put it in. You can cut it like how I cut the purple one. And there we have our Father's Day shirt and tie craft. On the inside, you can get a poem and write your little message to your dad. And write Happy Father's Day on the inside. So I wrote my Happy Father's Day to you, Dad. And there you have your shirt and tie craft for your dad. Happy making!
What is Dad not very good at?
My dad is good at a lot of things. But one thing my dad is not very good at is singing. My dad loves to sing, but I don't think sometimes that he gets the words right. Once, when I told him, he said the Lord say make a joyful noise. Other than that, my dad is the best dad in the world, because he goes out of his way to make sure that I get all the things that I need to be able to do well. And And that is why I love my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
What do you enjoy doing with your dad?
Well, I like to spend time with my dad. And during that time, we would play sports, football, basketball, more basketball than football. We would sometimes watch sports on the TV and pick opposite teams as to who will win in the game. I like to go out with dad for a walk, sometimes to watch movies, go to different places that I haven't gone before with my dad. And when we go by our cousin, me and my dad will play different video games together. Sometimes I like to go to Grand Bazaar with my dad, and we will go to different food courts and eat different foods, sit down, talk, and laugh and have a good time.